Okay. A Game of Thrones. I'm so excited to finally like have figured out how I need to review these. Okay, today we're just gonna cover the prologue just to kind of ease into it. We're not gonna jump headfirst into it. We're just gonna like stick our foot into it, see if the water's cold. So we have the prologue. We're at the wall. We have the three guys: Royce, Will, and Jared. I'm assuming that's a soft G. Are out beyond the wall looking for these wildlings who have died. This was the opening scene of Game of Thrones, the show. First of all, Royce died. No one really cares. I mean, it's the opening scene. Some characters you have just so they can die, you know? I mean, he needed to die, and he was an ass anyway. And I feel bad saying that because one of the lines after he dies, Will looks down at him and sees him. You can see how young of a boy he really was, even though he was a pompous asshole. But, I mean, he was a pompous asshole, so lesson of the day is don't be a pompous asshole. So one of the things I thought about with this was that Jared had been on the Night's Watch for a while. Like, he's a seasoned night watcher, you know what I mean? And he hadn't actually seen the Night Walker. Like, they hadn't actually seen any of the Night Walkers or anything in his time of being a ranger. So why do they choose to start coming south and being active now? And that's one of the things like I thought about on the show. I never really had a chance to say it. Like, why now? Have they said why now? They haven't. And then also in this prologue, the Nightwalkers have I keep saying Nightwalkers, they're White Walkers. Will hears the White Walkers say something to Royce right before they fight in like this ancient language, and they never spoke on the show. And I just thought that was strange because they came up with Valyrian, they came up with Dothraki for the show. So why couldn't they have some kind of like mysterious language that nobody understood for the show? I'm pretty sure we've never seen them speak, right? On the show, it was more like the whole time. So I don't know. Those are just a couple of changes I thought about with this. Also, the Malister free riders. When I first read that, I was like, who are they? I'm assuming they're going to have some significance, because why would you actually give a group of people who caught this one guy an actual name? Also, it was a little bit different than the opening scene of the show, is that these guys, like this guy fought Royce, like fought him hard in the beginning of this. And in the show, it just kind of seemed like it was like no contest. He just kind of whoosh, cut him down and threw his head, and that was it. We didn't really get to see them fight or do anything until what? Hardhome, I'm pretty sure, on the show. So maybe if we had known they could fight like that at the beginning, it wouldn't have been such an impactful episode. I think the thing that stood out mostly in the prologue to me was the one passage where Jared is talking about how the cold steals up on you quietly and it kills you. Well, hold on. At first you shiver and your teeth chatter and you stamp your feet and dream of mulled wine and blah, 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 blah. It burns, but only for a while. Then it gets inside you and starts to fill you up. And after a while, you don't have the strength to fight it. It's easier to just sit down and go to sleep. And in the end, it's like sinking into a sea of warm milk, peaceful like. So, you know what's funny with that description? Or not funny. I mean, that's a horrible thing. But I thought it was interesting. It made me think if that's how it is to be turned by the White Walkers. Now, granted, most of the people who are turned, or I'm saying turned like they're in Walking Dead, and I know it's not turned, but most of the people who are raised are dead. But what about like the babies, Craster's kids? If they turn an actual living person, is that how it is? Like you fight it, and then after a while, it's like, oh, okay, I can do this. Like, you know, I wonder if they're describing how it would feel to be turned alive into an actual White Walker. So that was just a thought. See, and this is why I have to go 1 or 2 chapters at a time, because I've been talking for 12 minutes and we're only on the prologue. So, okay, that's it. How'd you like the prologue? Any other thoughts, things I'm missing in it you want me to touch on in the next, well, probably not the next video because I'm going to be recording that like tomorrow. touch on soon, go over. And that's it. I will see you probably Wednesday or Thursday. The next one, I'm going to do the next 2 chapters, which are Bran and Catelyn, their first chapters each. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.